Hey friends, it's Liza. If you've ever found yourself doom scrolling at 2 a.m. or if you're like me, watching TikTok until your eyes feel like bleeding, then this episode is for you. Today we're talking about digital wellness and how to draw boundaries with our technology and socials. So you're listening to the Light and Life podcast. Welcome back. We're so glad you're here. I'm here with Pastor Tim McConnell again.
Hey, Liza. Good morning.
Good morning. How do we approach this topic of not letting our phones disciple us more than Jesus?
Oh.
Or plug out and plug in, as my friends like to say.
Hang up and hang out. Plug out and plug in.
There's too many. What is that? There's too many I's, iPhones, iPods. Not enough we's and us's.
No more I's. Let's go we. Yep, we phones.
Oh man.
Well, my advice is to throw the phone away. To go
completely
back to paper and text. I mean, like print text. And just sit and read your Bible quietly would be the best thing to do.
It would be. However, sometimes our livelihoods depend on our mobile devices. Like in between show recordings, I'm over there.
Yeah.
On the email, on the phone.
It's so, here we are, right? It's amazing that you've got these digital, means to carry every idea from every time period, from everywhere in history, every person, and can come directly onto your hand. Like there's what was it? I think Kierkegaard. I just heard about this. He wrote a short story about like a tiny tube that would give you the news every day. And he's like, what if you could carry this tiny tube around and just stick it in your ear and you would get the news every day? And the whole short story or the whole thing was about how everybody went bonkers. Like everybody just went absolutely mad because it was too much information to deal with at once. And of course, here we are, right?
Right.
And apparently we are not doing well. Like it's not good for our mental health. It's too much.
No.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this in previous episodes in that, like Facebook, for example, started as a well-intentioned thing in how to reconnect with people that you haven't talked to in years and see what they're up to, and as a platform to stay connected to your loved ones. But it's actually done the reverse. Not just Facebook, but all social platforms. Just having access to someone else's reality at the touch of your fingertips has actually made us less connected to one another. I've been to, several gatherings of people where I'll look up from my phone and I realize, we are all on our phones
like
right
out
now.
at a restaurant?
Not at a restaurant.
Okay.
But
you just sit down in the house.
But in a house, like if we're
come
all
over,
in a couch.
you're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, like say I'm grilling out or something.
Yeah.
I'll be scrolling on my phone while I'm grilling, and then I look and everyone else is on their phone too. No one's talking.
Yeah.
At a restaurant, it's different because I feel like that's an unspoken rule.
Yeah.
To not be on your phone, and most people, if they are, they're like, "Can I show you something? Do you care if I show you something on my phone?"
Yeah.
There's always a preface, but
social.
Yes.
Trying to be social. And you've paid for the, like, there's, I'm cheap enough that, like, wait, we've paid for this experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't waste this.
If you want to sit on your phone, go.
Do it for free.
Go home, eat some ramen.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's not healthy. We had another episode about where our food's coming from.
That's got at least 2 credit cards in it.
It's ramen.
Of plastic.
Like you've eaten a whole credit card just with one ramen. So I never did TikTok, and I think I won't.
It's probably a good thing because it's coming from an advertising background, I think about capturing people's attention. How do we capture people's attention? And our attention span is shorter than a goldfish. Like it's unreal. You used to always have 30, 60-second ads. Now it's like you have the first 5 to 6 seconds to really capture someone's attention. Like those Facebook little mini ads are 6 seconds long, and they're designated to be 6 seconds. And it's fascinating when it comes to reels, like videos.
Now that
you're constantly filling yourself with 6 seconds of content.
So I'll be honest, I'm off Facebook. I never really I did like Twitter for a while, but I've never been on X. So that's a sign that I just wasn't on it for a long time. I think I have an account. This is what scares me, is that I have accounts out there that I don't even know the passwords to anymore.
Yep.
And
your algorithms are all messed up. Your content's not even relevant to you anymore.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but they're out there, and I don't know what they're doing. Are they piling up requests or something? Or
I think you can let them go.
Okay.
Into the sphere.
But Instagram is the thing. I'm totally honest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's when I think about how is social media impacting my mental health. I'm thinking about when I go to Instagram and when I flip through Instagram.
So how is it impacting?
Negatively.
In what way? Let me keep pressing, as my therapist does to me.
As we, as a church, we want to get on these media. We want to put good content out there to try to draw people into good things, because this is where people are living, and we want to be out there. And so a lot of times it's just I want to be out there, but I've got to be honest, I don't put stuff out there privately anymore or on my private account. I know I'm going out on social media as the pastor of First Pres, but we're going on social media right now, out onto YouTube, and this will be on Instagram, I think, and Facebook and TikTok, and no, I don't know if it
all
goes
the
on
things.
TikTok, but how does it impact my mental health? Well, at the very best, it's brain Novocaine, right? That's at the very best. There's nothing of real educational value unless you click something and get off of it, and okay, I am going to take this adventure down, to really learn about something that I didn't know about before. That's not going to happen on that platform. Mm-hmm. You got to get off that platform before it becomes something that's educative, that's going to be that's going to build you up. So at the very best, it's brain Novocaine, isn't it?
When you say Novocaine, are you
numbing?
Saying? Well, that's what I would say. I use it for is to numb out and distract myself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And at the worst.
And it's sometimes it's funny, you snicker and and at the worst, it's got these little poison pills, and they come. My algorithm feeds me poison pills, and it's before you know it, you swallowed it, and you're just. I think the stuff that I scroll on Instagram is it's kind of like the fail army stuff, fail army.
Yeah, where it's people wiping out.
It's what? No way! The guy slipping down his icy sidewalk and stuff, and the woman who's trying to cliff dive, and she falls before she gets off the cliff. It's Abigail doesn't like that stuff. She's didn't she get hurt? I don't know, probably.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I'm worse. There's this one account called Kids Getting Hurt.
Oh, no.
But it's just so funny in the way that they do it, and they look up, they're fine after, but little kids will look up and be do I cry? Do I not? Confused. And people will come up and be yay! To try to make them not upset. And then they start crying, and that's when I lose it, because I think it's...
Yeah.
You know what? Let's forget I said that. Let's forget that I...
Roll that back.
Yeah.
And they've got a little bruise or something probably, but it's so I watch that kind of I'm scrolling through that, and there's these funny construction videos and where things are going wrong on a construction site, and mountain biking, skiing, crashes, stuff like that. It's all so I'm giggling over there in the side of the living room, and Abigail's what are you laughing at? Nothing. And but then so that's when So what do I do when I'm tired of my thoughts, right? If you really want to sort of go therapist and go, as a Christian disciple, as a follower of Jesus, I'm tired. I'm tired from work. I'm tired of making decisions. I'm tired of dealing with the thought patterns that are in my head. I just learned this term, the ANTS, ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. I'm tired of the automatic negative thoughts that are coming into my head, and dealing with them. What do I do? And so what I do is, boom, I'm on social media.
Instant gratification.
And it's instant brain Novocaine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't want to think, so I just want to scroll. And they've figured that out for us. Like, this is how we're going to do that, And you're just going to, like you said, TikTok 2 a.m, and the next thing you know, you look up, and how much time has gone by.
So how do you discern? Because I've done, social media fasts for a time.
Have you?
Mm-hmm, and we've talked about, anyone could benefit from that, and just being more present and learning practice of contentment and gratitude. But how do you discern really when your phone or your technology or your socials are stealing from your joy?
Right.
Like, what is the breaking point?
So when you doom scroll and you stop, how do you feel afterward?
Tired.
Tired, yeah.
I'd say tired, and then now what?
Yeah. Like, it's like eating something that isn't really food.
Yeah.
And
it's almost
like
lonely.
It's an analog, and it's not actually the thing. So it's a relationship analog. Your body thinks you're learning, or your body thinks that you're in a relationship, or that there's part of you that thinks, oh, this is what I'm doing, and there's something just around the bend. I'm discovering, and you're not. You're not discovering. So it's this false game that, and then when it's over, you feel worse than you began. Like, I was tired of my thoughts, so I wanted to just stop and rest, and now I'm tired. Now I'm tired. What's that? It's because it wasn't actually delivering what it promised. So, so I just encourage as much as I can as Christians. Like, I park my phone. I don't take my phone to the bedroom anymore. Like, I park my phone in the kitchen, and it's just like, what are you, like 12,
Yeah.
Like, park your phone in the kitchen. Well, I don't need my phone. Like, I need to be able to lie down with my thoughts. Mm-hmm. And maybe that takes a little more effort than scrolling along. But in the end, I need that strength to be able to, I'll just stick with this because I got it from our counseling coalition last week.
Okay.
I need to be able to stomp out my own ants, you know? Like, if there's automatic negative thoughts coming in, I need to be able to spot them and squash them. And when I can do that, I'm just like, let me think through that. Let me let that thought run. Okay, finished with that. That was, I'm not thinking about it clearly. Let me add some other information. Take a deep breath. Go outside. Touch grass. Or, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, you need that. You need those skills.
Totally. Self-soothe. You need to be able to self-soothe.
That's great. Yep.
So you could say leaving your phone in the kitchen before you go to bed is a digital boundary that you've set.
Yep.
Has that been life-giving?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they say being on screens before bed is really horrible for your health anyway.
Right.
Just in that it disrupts your sleep.
Sleep is really a big deal.
I know. I know.
Turns out.
And why is it the one thing that we sacrifice?
Yeah.
When it comes to
that's interesting.
Trying to be productive.
Right.
Like, that's where we give the room.
And it seems noble. Like, it seems noble to be like, I only sleep 4 hours a night and I still function, and all. Like, that seems noble. And so I love the athletes that have gone like totally the other direction. Like, no, I'm sleep disciplined. I'm sleep. There's a word for it. Like, sleep hygiene is, like, I set up and I control my sleep patterns because that's how I'm gonna. Well, for them, that's how I'm going to perform.
Right.
That's how my body's going to regenerate. But it's true for all of us. Like, so if I used to have a period where my phone was next to my bed, and I'm going through emails, like I'm going through texts, I'm going through some social media stuff, or I'm just going down a rabbit trail online or something, and then you're exhausted. You wake up in the morning, and there's little notifications on there, or even in the middle of the night, some little notification, like some useless notification, and has got your attention. And so yeah, for me that's a great discipline. Just throw it in a box. The fellows, like young in our church, young adults in our church, like some of them are getting the box. Do you know
Box phone?
Box phone. Mm-hmm. What is that?
It is. I have a friend who has one.
Yeah.
It looks like an iPhone. It's smaller. It's basically a brick.
Okay.
It texts, it calls, doesn't internet access, but it's still a screen.
Oh, so it's just a simple phone.
It's just a simple phone.
Okay.
You can't access the internet. Only texting and calling. And it's to help with a balanced lifestyle. I mean, there's a new trend that people are just holding squares of glass out in public to help them change their phone addiction.
Really?
Like they'll just swipe on this box of glass to like train their brain that what I'm doing with my phone is silly.
It's like nicotine
I am
gum.
just putting my finger on glass, and it's trying to like retrain. So people will be standing in line at movie theaters with this box of clear glass. And some people are like, whoa, is that the latest technology of like, is that, some spyware where it's a see-through phone? And it's like, no, this is just a box of glass.
Just a piece of glass. Well, when have you felt like my mental health is at risk in my phone habits?
Well, full transparency, like recently, going through a hard life change or relationship change. And I noticed that situations that I can't control, I would, like if you miss a person, that just God is taken out of your life, I would try to like find little breadcrumbs or nuggets of this person.
On digital platforms.
On digital platforms, like see what they're up to, see who they've been interacting with, and it's just not healthy.
Yeah.
And so like I've had to delete those apps off of my phone so that I'm not tempted to go in and do those things. But then of course I re-download them because it's an addiction almost. Until eventually it's like, okay, I have to block this person or something, which doesn't feel kind. It's just a like cycle of shame and confusion. And I think I remember specifically a time in college when I had to go off of socials, and it was because it was from a like comparison standpoint, not even a relational standpoint. It was like everyone on their social media puts their best in show for people to see. No one's seeing the sadness, the tears, the heartache, the disappointments. And a lot of times it would be like, how can I pose to make my body look as fit as possible? And I just had to turn it off because I remember every social interaction or gathering that I went to, I remember everyone being like, we have to get an Instagram pic.
Yeah.
Take it again. And it just took from like every experience that you had, because everyone was trying to focus on the best picture that they could get rather than the best experience that we could have together.
Right.
And that was, kind of a life-altering moment in my mind.
So I think it's a powerful vehicle. It's a powerful tool, instrument. And the way that we use it as Christians, it can either be powerfully good or powerfully bad. And even when it's powerfully good, we're connecting, we're staying connected, we're teaching, we're learning each other, we're staying in relationship. Even when it's powerfully good, it's still something that can suck you into this sort of spiral. I think I think as Christians, you just look at it as one of the tools. You try to look at it as one of the tools that we have given ourselves, and in a sense that God has allowed us to give ourselves to be connected beyond the limitations of our time and space bodies, and to be entertained and to laugh but to know that the real experiences are better than the analogs.
Right. Well, so in what ways can technology be a tool for faith or like a work for good?
Yeah.
Not just a distraction from it?
I mean, last week I gave a training devotion to a group of elders for a church in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, well, this couldn't happen 10 years ago,
Without
right? And,
like a Zoom call? Or...
Yeah, Zoom call. And if you want, you've got translation capabilities that it's like, well, translation capabilities 10 years ago, 15 years ago was a guy who can translate for you,
right.
or someone a girl could translate for you, like standing there and waiting for them to translate whatever you said. And so there's amazing ways that these things can bring the Christian body together, and that we can be aware of what life is like for the Christian body around the world all at once. And that's so awesome. I mean, how awesome is that?
Right.
Like you can genuinely, and at the same time, it would be better for me to be there with them, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is great, but always remembering that it's an analog, it's a digital analog, and it would be even better if we were together. Be even better if our screens were off and we were in the room together talking about this. Mm-hmm. There's a family in our church that has started coming to our traditional side, and they sing off of we put the words up on the screens, but they sing off of the hymnals, and we put the words of the scripture up on the screens, but they open their
Bible,
like leather-bound paper text like Bibles, and flip the pages, and I know that they're doing it because they want their time with the Lord to be tactile and to not be screen-based, to not be digitally based.
Right.
I just think that's so interesting.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
I do that too.
You do?
Yeah,
You want a paper Bible?
I want to see it and read it and hold it.
Yeah.
And I guess I could. Sometimes I use the Bible app.
Yeah. I do.
If I forget to bring my Bible. Well, it has really awesome devotions on it and reading plans. Sometimes you can tap into podcasts or learn more like from other people's writings or other people's perspectives. I always learn from other people's perspectives rather than just reading the Bible and being like, all right, God, what do you want me to take away from this? There's also an app that I use, and I believe I've mentioned it before, but it's called Lectio 365.
Right.
And it has a morning, a midday, and an evening devotional. And I play it out loud and listen and try to start my day and end my day with it. The middle of the day is like, nah.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I don't really do the middle of the day while I'm working, but it's just a nice way to... Now that does mean my phone is next to me in bed, but it's a nice way to start your day with God rather than reaching for your phone and scrolling through socials. You're reaching for your phone out of routine on Lectio 365 or the Bible app.
And connecting
just 'cause it's
with
right
God.
there. Yeah.
Like that's the most important thing, I think, is that like what's the first thing you're doing? Connecting with God. I remember, I don't remember who it was that said it, but a woman who's taught the first thing that you take in is going to go the deepest. So it's like if you're like a sponge, the first thing that you take in is going to go the deepest. So taking in Scripture first, taking time with the Lord first, it's going to go deepest, and then the rest of the stuff will look different as you go through your day. And I thought that was a great way to look at it. So
I love that.
So that, I mean, these digital media, they can bring really good blessings, rhythms of prayer, rhythms of engagement with Scripture. I think one of the most encouraging things that has come to me on social media in the past 6 months was to check in on the Jonathan Pokluda and Jenny Allen movement among college campuses, where I could watch reels of college kids getting baptized in lakes in the back of pickup trucks because they had just come to know the Lord. And I was like, I can't believe I get to be here through this media, but I get to see this. And because, CNN's not going to go over there and throw a camera on,
Sure.
You're not going to see that on any, nobody's going to send the news out there. So this way that digital media connects you with things that are happening in the world, things that God is doing in the world, it's like, wow, that is an awesome gift.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you recognize that you can get on this brain Novocaine and just, get scrolling and then just sort of like, where'd my life go? And along the way, I was also swallowing these falsehoods, these poison pills that were just sort of popping in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, what was that? Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up in that if you're listening, we encourage you to pick one digital boundary to test this week. It could be muting your phone, setting up, I know that on like Instagram or Facebook, you can set up time limits. But yeah, basically just pause, pray, and power down. Don't just listen to your phone or let it navigate your life, and just be aware.
Yeah, I think just be in your body, and self-soothing, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be in your body, feel the feels, stomp out the ants. Take a piece of paper, and write on it with a pen.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
When's
see
the
how
last
that
time
feels.
you wrote something down?
Like, take your old leather Bible off the shelf and flip to the passage.
Mm-hmm.
Read it with your finger on it. See how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
Because so much of digital life is about de-incarnating. It's about getting out of the body. God gave you your body. Your body's a good thing. And the more that you live into your body, I think the more peace we feel actually as followers of Christ.
Mm-hmm. Well, that wraps us up. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time.